Hey everyone, it's Albie. Welcome back to my channel. Before I start, I just want to sort of address the elephant in the room, which is my face is yellow and my body isn't. I don't know what happened. I literally was like throwing on some touch-up powder because I got a little oily because I'm filming this later in the day, and it turned my face like jaundice yellow. And that's the Maybelline Fit Me in 120 Classic Ivory. Yeah, like I can go into a whole tangent about this, but I have a busy day tomorrow, and yeah, I'll make a little sweater. I don't know. Well, everyone, now that I've addressed that, you probably wouldn't even noticed. Let's go into my favorites of 2022. So I read 76 books. This is filmed on December 22nd. And so right now I've read 76 books. I might read 78 or so by the end of the year. I'm slow. But I had a lot of books that I really loved. I would say out of the 76, probably 40 to 45 of them were 4, 5, or 6 stars. Most likely, probably even more than that. I am pretty lenient with my rating scales. If I had a good time, I give it a 5 or 4. But these books are some that really just stood out. If you would like a longer video in January of me talking about all the books that I gave 4 and 5 and 6 stars to, let me know because I'm more than happy to do that. I'm always sort of wondering what content to do in January after I've done a full Vlogmas. But these are, I only have 9 books, but these are 10 books. Let me add the 10th real quick on here that I really enjoyed. I can write without looking, which is pretty cool. So these aren't really in a specific order. I mean, I do have some that are like number ones, but I think I'm going to save that for January just for like new stuff. But these are ones that I just really loved. So the first one I'll talk about is The Lady Gets Lucky by Joanna Shoup. I can say wholeheartedly that this is my favorite historical romance. I just loved it so much. We had Christopher, Kit, and Alice, and it was just the tropes that I absolutely love. I love the bad boy and the good girl, and the good girl goes bad sort of thing. If you remember the late 2000 or early 2000s, Leighton Meester headband from Gossip Girl, she did "Good Girls Go Bad." That song, I really liked it. Anyway. I loved Alice. I really identified with her. If you love that energy of like Titanic, where Rose and her mother are like water and oil, you know, where Rose is trying to be bound to the constructs of society, and the mother is very foreboding and old school and very like tight leashed on her. I think you'll really identify with Alice and like her character a lot. I just loved it. It was super spicy to me because it had so much tension, and y'all know I love a storyline with strong sexual tension. I eat it up. I just love when the characters are almost in a forbidden romance because of societal constructs, because it's set in the Gilded Age. You know, you can't really say, hey, boo, what's going on? You know, you're going to get like slut shamed. So I just enjoy that chaotic old school energy. So The Lady Gets Lucky, it was spicy, super romantic. It's one of those teach me storylines. So Alice goes to Kit to learn the art of seduction and how to seduce a man. And she's, of course, virgin. So it's very, very good. And I love the series so far. I haven't read book 3, which is surprising, but it's like book 2 is literally my favorite historical romance. I can say that without delay. So I'm like, ooh, is it going to like disappoint me in a way because I just love book 2. But Lady Gets Lucky by Joanna Shoup, absolutely loved it. So if you have not read historical romances because you're afraid they're going to be kind of boring or slow or not spicy, pick this one up. It is technically book 2, but you're really fine to go ahead and skip book 1. It does a little bit of stuff that happens in book 1, but book 1 and 2, like majority of book 2, is happening at the same time as book 1. So it's like they're all at this vacation house, kind of like up in the Hamptons or Long Island somewhere. And the two storylines from book 1 and 2 are happening at the same time until like around the end. Then it kind of, you know, has the conclusion of 1, and then 2 is still active, if that makes sense. So love that story. Another one that I really loved was Iceland Barbarians by Ruby Dixon. I'm actually gifting it to my sister because Amazon sent my mom 2 copies, and I absolutely loved this book so much. It is really spicy. It's romantic. It's basically Beauty and the Beast vibes because he's a monster alien, so to speak, but with a heart of gold. One thing I really enjoyed about the story was like the lack of communication. I don't know if that's really a thing, but I loved like when they couldn't really understand each other, but they were still like attracted. One of my favorite childhood movies, which is really not great for children, but I love it, is Splash with Tom Hanks and Daryl Hannah. It's basically The Little Mermaid. Y'all know I'm obsessed with mermaids. I remember my mom and dad were watching, I think it was called Dinner and a Movie on the Food Network or something, maybe another channel, but in the 90s. And they were like making lobster, and they had Splash playing, and like the whole show was like they play a movie and cook something that went along with the movie. I thought I had Anna Gasteyer in it, but I love Splash, and it was the same thing where she didn't know English, And so, yeah, I love Iceland Barbarians. It was spicy, romantic. We have a tall blue alien hero and an American girl, but it's just super fun. It was really surprising. And I've read books 1 through 3. I have 4. I need to get to it. But thank you, Brandy, so much for this addiction because it's a really fun one. So another book I absolutely loved was Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. It's technically book 2 in the Bellinger Sisters series. I think you'll be fine to skip book 1, which is It Happened One Summer. I'm actually gifting that one to my sister as well because I loved it. But I love Fox Thornton. I think my favorite book boyfriend, as they say, of 2022 is definitely a tie between Kit of The Lady Gets Lucky, and that's really strong, and Fox Thornton from Hook, Line, and Sinker. I like the line that Tessa Bailey said where it's like, he wanted to be seen for something more than a big. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. So I really liked Fox. He was like the, I was going to say something bad. He's like an endowed hero with a heart of gold. I'll put it that way. But I really enjoyed Hannah. I liked Piper a little bit more, but Fox was just a wonderful hero. I loved the small town charm of it. I love their grandmother, Opal. And I really hope that they are going to make a movie about It Happened One Summer because I loved that book so much. And I like the sequel a lot too. It's one of my favorites. So that one is great, Hook, Line, and Sinker. Number 4 was another Tessa Bailey. She's on a double. She's doubled up on this. I have 2 authors that are doubled. And that would be Window Shopping. It was wonderful. I just did a video on it on my channel. It features Aiden, who's a sunshiny hero that runs the upscale department store Vivian or Vivant. And Stella, who was recently out of jail. She's grumpy. She's moody. And the two just worked together in many, many wonderful ways. And I loved it. It was just whimsical. It had Christmas magic. It wasn't too Christmassy if you're not like into that. It was on the scale of Hallmark movie energy, meaning this like the Christmassy whimsicalness, not like the storyline was like predictable or bland. No offense, I love Hallmark. It was just wonderful. If you wanted a spicy, if you've ever wanted a spicy Hallmark movie, it's not Hallmark in the way it's written. But if you ever wanted something like that, I think you'll love Window Shopping. I loved it so much. Another book I absolutely loved is The Roommate by Rosie Dannon. This one was so surprising. I haven't seen a lot of people talk about this book, but it was wonderful. So it features Clara, who's an uptight type A girl. She's very waspy. She's from like the Upper East Side of New York, like Gossip Girl. And Josh, who is an adult porn star for reasons to say that. It was really interesting. It was very sex positive. It was romantic. It wasn't enemies to lovers, but it was they had some tensions, and I really liked it. I liked the writing. I loved the comedy, and I loved the romance. It was another one with the sexual tension. I eat it up. If it has that long, like, it doesn't have to be slow burn if it has the tension, because it keeps you wanting more, and I loved it. So The Roommate by Rosie Dannon, loved it. Number 6 is The Bastard's Betrayal by Katie Robert. I have asked her like 3 times, and she's basically said there's no plans directly to write any more sequels to it right now. It is technically a spin-off of the O'Malley, I'm not sure, series. And this featured Rose and Dante. It's a dark mafia romance, so it is pretty heavy. I have a review on it, and if you don't want to watch the review but want to know the triggers, I have triggers for basically all my books in the description boxes. So you can always pause it and like it, of course, and then go to the description box, and you can see the content warnings at the very bottom if you need to look into that. But it's not too dark. But it was a kidnapping romance. It was mafia, enemies to lovers, very, very strong enemies to lovers, and it was another one that was absolutely wonderful. Number 7 was also another mafia romance. That was Stolen Heir by Sophie Lark. This one is just as good if you want a mafia romance that's dark, but this one has a lovely Beauty and the Beast fairy tale vibes. So think about when Belle is in the haunted castle, magic castle, Beast's house, the castle. And she's like running around, can't go to the East Wing or West Wing, whatever it is. West Wing? I don't know. It's basically that whole energy where Nessa is kidnapped by Miko. It's enemies to lovers, very, very strong. So it's captor. It was lovely and just had that really wonderful 1991 Disney Beauty and the Beast energy. Absolutely loved it. Love Stolen Heir. That's book 2 in the Brutal Birthright series. Book 1 is just as good, but I really loved book 2 just a little bit more because of that Beauty and the Beast energy that it had. So book 1 is Brutal Prince, but Stolen Heir, the one I'm talking about, I liked a little bit more, but Brutal Prince is really good too. And that features Ada and Callum. All right, I have another monster romance, and that is Muscles and Monsters by Ashley Bennett. It's book 1 in the Leviathan Fitness series. It was lovely. It features Tegan, who's a curvy plus-size baker heroine, and our semi-humanoid wolf Atlas, who is the owner of the Leviathan Gym Fitness Center. It was spicy. It was naughty. It was fun. It had really interesting, cozy energy. So when I was in high school, I read the Sookie Stackhouse novels by Charlaine Harris, which was the basis of True Blood, the HBO show. Lord, I'm getting country up in here. And I really enjoyed that. They had kind of southern cozy vampire romance mystery. And I got a lot of that energy from Muscles and Monsters. It wasn't mystery and stuff, but I got that cozy small town charm with monsters, and I really loved it. Book 2, I'm hopeful to start either today or tomorrow. That's male monster, human male romance. I'm excited. That's Tentacles and Terraathlons, I believe. So I'm excited to start that soon because it looks super cute, and a lot of people love that one as well. So Muscles and Monsters is really good. It's really surprisingly sweet for how titillizing it is. It's like equal parts like, aw, makes you feel good. Well, you know what I mean. A lot of these books will do that. Never mind. Book 9 is Worth Fighting For by Matilda Madison. It is historical romance. It is a second chance romance, which another one of my favorite tropes. It's lovers to enemies to lovers vibes. It features a secret baby, which I don't mind, and that's not really a secret because it's like the premise of the story. And it features Edward and Catherine. And I talked about it in my review that it really reminded me of like that almost toxic relationship of Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, where it's like they hate each other and they love each other so much, and like they probably fight and then have like really good makeup stuff, you know. So that's sort of what I got from Catherine and Edward, and I don't think Ms. Madison would be mad about that assumption. I love Elizabeth Taylor. I actually run a really successful fan account for her on Instagram. I'm not going to share it because it's just kind of like, it's not what I do here, but I have a lot of followers on there. And like no one knows that that I run it and that I have this little booktube thing. So I love Elizabeth Taylor, and I loved Catherine because she gave me Elizabeth Taylor energy. So that one was really cute. And I think, I don't know, that one's on Kindle Unlimited. Some of these are on Kindle Unlimited, so you can always write them down and then check. So they're technically free with your subscription, but most of these you can get for like $4 on Amazon. A few of them are a little more money. I like to do a little bit of price for people because I'm on a budget. Probably a lot of people are on a budget that read because we buy so many books or read so many books. And yeah, and number 10 is another home run from Katie Robert, and that was The Dragon's Bride. It's the first book in the Deal with the Demon series. I really enjoyed this one. So it had Briar Rose and Soul. It's American Woman. I'm about to sing the song. And Soul, who's a humanoid dragon. So he's like male form dragon, if that makes sense. He's not like more animal, he's more human. And it was spicy, it was romantic, it was sweet, it had me wanting more. It was almost one of those stories where it could have gone a little south because it did do some world building, but you needed to have the world built for the story. It's going to be, I think, a bigger arc is what I'm projecting for it. And I liked it a lot. So it has some big content warnings. Like I said, you can go to my video on it. That one's pretty popular, so it probably pops up when you look for me. And you just pause it if you don't want to have spoiled or whatever, and then go to the description. It's at the bottom. But yeah, The Dragon's Bride by Katie Robert was another one that I absolutely loved. Well, everyone, thank you so much for supporting me this year. I really do appreciate it. I have grown so much in subscribers and friendships, and just thank you so much. So don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment, and I will see y'all again soon. Let me know in below what was your favorite book of 2022. Bye, everyone.